Hi folks, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Are you tired of the same old blah, 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 blah from the media? Do you like unfiltered commentary? Would you like to go back to the days when our rights meant something? Well, you've come to the right place, Cordisco's Corner. The fight to get back the ideals of our founders will be long and hard. Please support the channel by subscribing. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi folks, welcome back to Cordisco's Corner. Something I haven't talked about much on my channel, space exploration. I think it's amazingly cool. Amazingly cool. NASA releases new images of Perseverance surface of Mars. The images gives engineers a detailed look at the surface of the red planet. So let's get off of politics for an episode. What the hell, on something amazingly cool. NASA's Perseverance team has already begun its work from Mars' surface and released incredible images on Friday taken from the rover. In a news conference, experts say they could only hope the photographs from their mission might be able to contribute to already iconic images from years of space exploration. And I'm happy to say that I'm hopeful that we contribute to this. NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory Mars 20 Chief Engineer Adam Stetzerner stated. Well, these guys can't have easy names to pronounce. In his first images revealed, Perseverance is shown approaching its landing site in Mars' Jezero crater and hang about 6.5 feet from the ground. The image was taken from its Sky Crane jetpack descent stage before lowering the car-sized rover onto the surface on nylon tethers. That's pretty cool. Gotta admit, that's really cool. All automated. I'm trying to remember how long it takes for a signal to get from Earth to Mars. I know it's a while, but I think it's amazingly cool. And I just happened to catch it live when it landed, when they had the cameras in JPL, and when it landed there, and they got the first thumbnails up. And I got to tell you, this is amazing stuff. When they landed on the moon, in Neil Armstrong, tells you how important first is. I'm sure you guys will know. I can't remember myself, but many of you out there will remember when Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon. It was a huge deal. The whole world was watching, and I mean that literally. That was long before the internet. I was just 12 years old. I remember I was outside. I think it was in July. And my father called us in, my brother and I, and my youngest brother, rest his soul. He was 4. I don't know what he was doing. I don't remember. My brother and I came in. My other brother and I came in, and we watched it. And, of course, it was in black and white. And it was really amazing. It was really, really something. And I remember my dad trying to tell me about the computers and how powerful they were and all that. And see, my dad was an IBM computer programmer for over 30 years here in upstate New York. He worked in Endicott, which sits outside of Binghamton here. And I remember just before he passed away, we were looking at some of my computer here at my store. And he kind of laughed and he went, "Do you realize, of course, that your computer here, your desktop," I said, "Yeah, has about 10 times more computing power than the lunar lander. They landed 2 men on the moon and brought them back." And I started to laugh. He goes, "You think I'm kidding?" He says, "We thought that was amazing stuff." And I said, "Yeah, I remember when you said how powerful they were," and he laughed. But here it is. Color pictures and the quality. If you see, everybody has seen, even if they weren't born yet, they've seen the pictures of Neil Armstrong landing, I should say, coming down the ladder and walking on the moon. They're real grainy and they were black and white, but it was like, whoa, that's actually going on right now. And of course, the moon is a lot closer than Mars is, but I'm not sure how long it takes. A few seconds. Not very that long. I think it's like, 8 minutes to go from Earth to Mars? Anyway, here it is here, a picture of the Mars lander being lowered. It's really cool how they do it. They go in like normally with their heat shield. And Mars does have an atmosphere. It's a lot smaller than Earth, but when they hit the atmosphere is when they really start slowing down. You can find it online where it will show the speeds as it approaches Mars. I mean, it is freaking flying. It's like Mach 30 or some damn thing. 30 times the speed of sound. I mean, it's really tooling. And it was, you can see how many meters per second and how fast it's going in kilometers. And then when it starts to slowly hit the thin Martian atmosphere, it really starts slowing down. And then the parachute comes out. It decelerates like amazingly. And as it gets closer and closer, the rockets, the rockets shoot off. They start slowing it down even more. And then it releases the rover here on a tether. And it releases it, and then the rocket just takes off, and it leaves the rover, and there it is. And I remember all that stuff when I was a kid, and it was really cool. Let's read on. Well, NASA's Curiosity rover, which landed on the Red Planet in August 2012, I remember that too. That was really cool. Had a sky crane. It did not have the same kind of imaging capability. Yeah, in 9 years, I'm sure it's increased a lot, well, almost 10. Whereas Perseverance has more than 20 high-resolution cameras and a microphone in which to take photos in the first ever Mars video. Now, I'm wondering if there's any, say, noise on Mars. Maybe you can hear the wind blowing. I don't know, but it's cool. Mars 2020 hopes to have the video ready for public viewing by February 22nd, when they will provide an update on their progress. Officials report that the spacecraft is healthy and they have successfully fired their low-gain antenna to receive commands, and we're testing to see if high-gain antenna is green and nominal. I guess nominal means functional. Had 3 successful ultra-high frequency relay passes and fired their hazard avoidance camera covers, as well as a couple of other things related to the rover's robotic arm. It couldn't have been better. We're just kind of like on cloud 9, these weird dreamlike state where we're like, we can't actually believe this is what we're seeing. JPL's assistant mission manager, Pauline Wang, said. And there's the picture. I believe that was the first picture, but it come in black and white, and they got the color picture later. Pretty desolate place. But it's they're looking for maybe remnants of maybe microscopic organisms, which is life. Everybody says, well, they're looking at life for other planets. Everybody thinks, the Martians or, a two-headed thing like in all the movies. And what the life they're talking about is microbial. And I'm not sure how they do it. I think it has to do with gases or something like that. They're left behind. If there was microbial life, it'll leave a footprint kind of to where it was. I think one of the big deals with Mars, if I remember right, when I was a kid, was the thing that protects the Earth from a lot of really harmful rays from the sun that doesn't, just basically give you cancer. I forget what they call the rays. Around the Earth, there's a huge magnetic field, and as it hits Earth, it goes around it, and it protects us. And Mars doesn't have that, and I think all the planets don't have. We're the only one that has this magnetic field that's around it that protects us. The second image taken from a camera is the team's first color image on the surface, showing an expansive landscape for a better vantage point and a wider scope. There's a cool picture there. The third includes part 1 of Perseverance's 6 wheels and a more detailed look at the rocky ground below. The rocks on the dusty ground below appear to have holes in them, and geologists seized on the images. There it is there. That's pretty high quality photograph. And one of the things that I just first started to think about when we look at images like this is what the rocks are made of and what they look like, explained JPL Deputy Project Scientist Katie Stack Morgan. Oh, finally, a name I can pronounce. And so we're picking out different colors and tones and textures to figure out what these rocks might represent and what depositional process might have put these rocks on the surface of Mars. Yeah, I'm sure they had geological things happen over billions of years, just like Earth. I don't know if they have crust movements like we do and all kinds of neat stuff. I know they have earthquakes, earth tremors. And here's somebody from NASA's Mars rover on Twitter. I love rocks. Look at these right next to my wheel. Are they volcanic or sedentary? What story do they tell? Can't wait to find out. Of course, that's like, they're making it look like the rover has his own Twitter account, which is kind of cool. Morgan noted there were a number of different geological processes that could make holes in a rock like the holes seen in the image. And one of the first questions the team is asking, whether the rocks represent a volcanic or sedimentary origin, both of which would be extremely exciting. The images are no doubt critical components for the purpose of Perseverance's astrobiological experiment. After the test flights of NASA's first ever Mars helicopter, they're going to have a helicopter. That's going to be cool. It's kind of like a drone, I guess. And they're going to fly it around. And, how cool is that? Percy's the name of the helicopter. Will hunt for biosignatures and signs of ancient microbial life. Jezero Crater was carefully selected for the excavation and Mars sample return campaign, as a 28-mile-wide crater is believed to have once been filled with water and home to an ancient riverbed more than 3.5 billion years old. This, of course, still work to be done testing tech and functions before the team can shift their focus, but the team is optimistic about the 2-year investigation and ingenuity. 2 years. If y'all remember from The Martian, the movie there, he was stranded. I'm trying to remember his name now. God, I'm having trouble remembering actors' names. We was stranded on there over a year, and he found an old rover and tapped into it for the computer and stuff like that. It was really cool. In the days to come, engineers will pore over the rover system data, updating its software, and begin to test its various instruments. In the following weeks, Perseverance will test its robotic arm and take its first short drive, NASA said Friday in a news release. It will at least 1 or 2 months until Perseverance will find a flat location, drop off Ingenuity. The mini helicopter attached to the rover's belly, and even longer before it hits the road, beginning its science mission and searching for its first sample of Martian rock and sediment. Nevertheless, Thursday's landing was a monumental victory for the agency. Because of today's exciting events, the first pristine samples from carefully documented locations on another planet are another step closer to being returned to Earth. Yeah, that's pretty cool if they could get them back here. Thomas Zerbuchin, Associate Administrator for Science at NASA, said on Thursday, Perseverance is the first step in bringing back rock in a regolith of Mars. We don't know what these pristine samples of Mars will tell us, but they will tell us is monumental, including that life might have once existed beyond Earth. So let's just check out this other story about the Mars lander. From the Washington Examiner, NASA's Perseverance rover beams back its first color photos. After about a day on the Martian surface, NASA's Perseverance rover has snapped its first color photos of the red planet. The rover successfully landed on Thursday near what used to be a river delta on Mars's Jezero Crater. The crater used to be filled with water, and researchers are hoping that Perseverance might find signs of ancient microbial life. On Friday, NASA released the first color images. And of course, that's the pictures we saw from before. It's kind of the same story, but I just wanted to get a different perspective from the Washington Examiner. A tweet from Perseverance's Twitter account, which is run by people on Earth. I like that. featured a photo of the rocks and expressed excitement over the mission. The rover will store core rock samples in its tubes and deposit them so the future missions can collect them and fly them back to Earth. Oh, that's how they're getting them back. Okay. The rover will store core rock samples in tubes and then deposit them so that future missions can collect them and fly them back to Earth, according to NASA. Oh, that's how they're getting them back. Okay. So they've got to be able to send another vehicle to Mars to collect the Perseverance's samples they got. That's pretty cool. They're just waiting for the right technology or money. I love rocks. Look at these right next to my wheel. That's funny because it's like Perseverance got to send its own tweet. It's one of the more intriguing of the photos is a bit of a selfie and was taken from the rover's jetpack. We saw that in the other one. I like that, a selfie. And, of course, there's the, let's see if we can hear any of it. We'll see how long it is. I'm not sure if we can get it or not. Yeah, it's only a minute long, so let's play it. My laptop's a little slow, so hopefully we'll get it here in a minute. When it starts, we'll go back. But I gotta tell you,
starting to straighten up and fly
here
away.
we go. Here we go. This is going to be, I saw this live, so it's going to be cool. It's going to be extremely cool. Having a little trouble with my Wi-Fi connection here, so we should be getting a few seconds. But before it starts, though, I wanted to say, this is amazing stuff. Americans have...
In preparation for parachute
here we
deploy.
go. It's starting now. So why is it choppy? I don't know. Maybe it's just the connection. Let me just, I'll pause it for a second here while it comes on. But I wanted to say Americans are, we're incredibly ingenious people. I guess the Washington Examiner is having a tough time here. They're incredibly ingenious people. We have some of the best engineers. That's why all the countries, including China, try to steal some of our technology from us, because we have the best. And we have the best system. That's how we end up with the best people. And if you knew how far they went from when John Kennedy announced by the end of the decade they would send a man on the moon and send him back safely, that was a huge deal. You got to remember, that was less than 15 years after World War II when they started the program. And they didn't know if they could do it. But they said, well, we're just going to have to figure it out as we go along. And it was amazing stuff. And I remember the Gemini was a single-man rocket went up. Or excuse me, Mercury was a single-man rocket. And then Gemini, which is two people. Gemini is the twins. And then the Apollo missions, and of course those poor three astronauts that burned up in the accident. Gus Grissom, he was cool. I liked him. They burned up, and they ended up going on Apollo 11, landed on the moon. Now, when I was a kid, my parents brought myself and my younger brother to the Smithsonian in Washington, and they had one of the Mercury capsules on display. You know, with all the black all over it, you know, from the heat. It was pretty cool. You were a kid. And you got to climb in it and sit in it. And I was a small kid. I doubt if I was 9 years old, maybe that. And I had to crawl in there pretty good to get in there. 9-year-olds are pretty small. But the thing of it is, though, those guys had to get in that. And I got to tell you something. You get in that capsule, and you're a grown man, and you're sitting on the top of a rocket filled with fuel. And as John Glenn said, as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about the fact that it's about 1 million parts in this thing, and they all have to work perfectly. And who built this was the lowest bidder on a government contract. And everybody laughed. And takes a special kind of man to do that, and woman now. Takes a special kind of person to do that. I got to tell you. When you get in the space shuttle and go up there now and those things, that Gemini was Oh boy, you got to have a serious set on you, I'll tell you. And that must have been something when you looked down and saw the whole Earth, and there you were all alone. And I guess the reentry is really something. The G forces that hit, but well, I'll tell you, it takes a special kind of person for that. You got to have a big set, like I said, and I saw the inside of that, and it looked pretty sophisticated, but by today's standards, it's basically caveman stuff. So let's see if the video is working now. Let's take a look. Hopefully it is. I guess we're having a bad connection here with the website. Anyway, though, that's okay. Yeah, it's not going to work too good here. It's kind of choppy, so we're just going to have to miss out on that. But if you want to go see it, I'm sure you can find it online. I saw the GPL guys, and they had an animation that showed what it would look like if there was a camera watching it. The animation was really realistic. So anyway, I'm glad. I think this stuff is really cool, and I was excited. I just caught it just by accident. I had forgotten about the landing, and I was at my store here, and I saw it on YouTube, and I saw a live feed. And, oh, geez. And so I clicked on it, and I, but about a minute and a half, 2 minutes before it landed, and showed the animation and the speeds and all that. It's very cool stuff. It's a little geeky, but I thought it was amazing. I'll leave you with this. Humans are capable of such evil, destructive things. But the paradox of people is we are also the most creative, the most energetic, the most adaptable, and the cleverest beings that ever existed on Earth. And being in the greatest country in the world at the same time, you put all those things together, and you have NASA and all the cool things they do. Now, I have no doubt, this is 2021, I have no doubt that in the next 20 to 25 years, we'll have the technology for solar and nuclear power, and fossil fuels will be gone. I'm not against fossil fuels. I think the climate change fanatics are way overboard. But I think what will happen is we'll do what we always do. When we have to find a solution for it, we will. Just like NASA did in the 1960s when they were under the gun to go from nothing to having a lunar lander in less than 10 years. So I know we can do it. I have faith in the intelligence of our engineers and scientists. If they stay the hell out of the politics and just work on what they love, and that's the science of it and the engineering of it, I think it'll work out beautifully. So who knows? Maybe I'll be around to see. I'll be 65 this November. I'll be alive to see man landing on the moon for the first time, and also in my lifetime see men landing on Mars for the first time. Now, that's a cool life. Anyway, folks, just wanted to see a little bit of this and give you my thoughts on it. And until next time, goodbye and good luck. And good luck to NASA and Perseverance as well. Bye-bye.